A polynomial, just like any other expression, has no specific value. You can say the polynomial p of x is equal to 1000 or 8 or 100. It only gets a value when you assign a value to your variable x in a polynomial, depending on the kind of variable you have in your polynomial. In the polynomial that we have here, the variable is x. And so if you say let x be equal to 1000 or 100, then our polynomial will get a value at that specific value of our variable. And so if you let x be equal to 1 in this polynomial, which is 4x squared minus 8, then p at 1 means the value of that polynomial at x equal to 1. It means wherever we see x, we substitute it with 1. Alright, so 1 squared will give us 1. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 minus 8 will give us minus 4. So the value of the polynomial 4x squared minus 8 at x is equal to 1 is minus 4. Another example, which is in the slide, is p of x giving us 4x squared minus 3x to the power 4 plus 2x minus 5x cubed plus 6. We have to find the value of this polynomial when x is equal to 1. Once again, finding the value of the polynomial means wherever you see x in the polynomial, you put 1 there. And so p at 1 is the value of the polynomial at x is equal to 1. 4 times 1 squared minus 3 times 1 to the power 4 plus 2 times 1 minus 5 times 1 cubed plus 6. 1 square will be 1. 1 times 4, we have 4. 1 to the power 4 is 1. 1 times minus 3, minus 3. 1 times 2, 2. 1 to the power 3 will give us 1. 1 times minus 5 will be minus 5. Then plus 6. Now if we simplify this, we'll get positive 4. So the value of the polynomial p of x at x is equal to 1 is 4. Now, I need you to look at problem 2 and find the value of that polynomial when x is equal to negative 2. Now, without going through the slide first, I need you to pause the video and find the value of that polynomial. Alright. Now we can also perform some arithmetic on polynomial. The ones that we're looking at are addition, subtraction, as well as multiplication of polynomials before we look at finding the zeros or the solution to a polynomial. Now to add or subtract polynomials, we need to look at what is known as like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same degree. And so if I have a term that looks like x to the power 4, I can only add it or subtract it from another term that has the same degree. The degree of this term is 4. And so to be able to add it or subtract it to another term, that term has to be of degree 4. So if I have two polynomials, p of x giving us the 4x squared plus 8 minus 2x, and another term k of x giving us 2x to the power 3 minus the 2x squared plus 1, and I want to find p of x plus q of x. Since addition or subtraction deals with just like terms, it means that if I pick the first term in the first polynomial, I can only add it to the term that has the same degree as the term of the first polynomial. Now the degree of this term here is 2, and so I can only add it to the second term of the second polynomial. So this becomes 4x squared. The second term of the second polynomial, which is of the same degree of the first term of the first polynomial, is minus 2x to the power 2. Then we move on to the second term of the first polynomial, which is the 8. Now the degree of 8 is 0. So I can only add it to any of the term here whose degree is 0. And the only term in the second polynomial whose degree is 0 is negative 1. And so you add it to negative 1. Then we move on to the last term of the first polynomial, which is minus 2x. You can only add it to the term whose degree is 1. But in here, there is no term in the second polynomial whose degree is 1. And so it means we are adding it to 0x. Now, there is another term in the second polynomial that has not been dealt with, which is the 2x cubed. And so that too, we add it to the the term in the first polynomial whose degree is of the same degree as 2x cubed. Now, since there is no x cubed term in the first polynomial, it means we're adding it to 0x cubed. Okay, so simplifying this, we have 4x squared minus 2x squared, which will give us 2x squared, plus 8 plus negative 1 will give us 7, minus 2x plus 0x will give us minus 2x, then 2x cubed plus 0x cubed will give us plus 2x cubed. Another example, if we have p of x giving us 3x squared minus 4x minus 1, and then q of x giving us 2x squared plus 8x plus 8. And we want to add p of x to q of x. First, we pick the first term of the first polynomial, which is 3x squared, and then add it to a term in the second polynomial which has the same degree as the first term in the first polynomial. The degree of this first term here is 2, and so we can only add it to the first term of the second polynomial which has the same degree 2. So plus 2x squared. We move on to the second component, which is minus 4x. Now the degree of this term here is 1, and so the only term in here that we can add it to is the second term whose degree is also 1, so plus 8x. Then we move on to the last component, which is minus 1. The degree of minus 1 is 0, and so we can only add it to the only term here whose degree is 0, which is 8. So plus 8. If we simplify this, we have 3 plus 2 will give us 5x squared, minus 4x plus 8x will give us plus 4x. Then minus 1 plus 8 will give us plus 7. And so p of x plus q of x is giving us 5x squared plus 4x plus 7. Now, based on this, I'm going to give you a short exercise. If this is how addition is done, and addition and subtraction of polynomials is based on like terms, then your exercise is to find the subtraction part. So this is the addition part. I need you homework. Find the subtraction part of polynomials.